Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Metaphysical Hour. I'm Julia Cannon, and I'm here. Tracy is on a camping trip. So we're going to see what we can do, how much fun we can have, and we're going to wish her the best and the most funnest time out in her camping. Tiffany is here, and we are going to see what we create in this hour of fun for you. Tiffany, what do you have to say?
Hello, everyone.
It's been a while since I've done this like this. I'm used to bouncing off. So Tiffany's gonna do her best to bounce with me. And so anyway, if you have, I guess we can do our announcements. If you have questions, we're happy to take questions. We may do a little talking here up front about some things if I can come up with some things. But if you have questions, put Tiffany in all caps and maybe some emojis around it to get her attention, and then she'll know that you have a question. Otherwise, you're commenting and on to each other. You're probably talking to each other, and that's wonderful. Also, start telling us where you're from. That is huge. Like I've said before, I'm still just getting little pieces, and I talked to someone else today who was talking about the grid, and I said what I just keep getting. It's very important that everybody shines their light and shows their part. He fully agreed. It's like we don't understand all of it yet, but it's like, yeah, that's a big deal. So make sure you are putting it out there. Just all you have to do is acknowledge I'm from here, and that's shining your light. That's all you're doing. And then also it's said, it's letting everyone else see where you're from. We're all seeing each other. And that's huge. That shows us that grid. I love to watch how it moves and forms, and shapes and everything. So that's really cool. The other thing is in order, okay, I'll try to remember this right. This is streaming out. It's going out to a lot of different places. So it's on Facebook, it's on YouTube, different YouTube channels and different Facebook channels. In order for Tiffany to see your question, I think if you're on Facebook, you need to actually click on the video, and then it will open up. And then when you put questions in there, I believe she'll see it then. Is that correct,
That,
Tiffany?
that's
Okay.
correct, from what I understand.
Yeah, and the
And I
YouTube,
think
I
you should
think it
just
works.
throw in that
Mhm.
since Tracy isn't here, they should go all to your YouTube channel,
Oh,
right?
well, I
Since
think so. But it's okay if you want to go to Tracy's, it's okay. Remember, she's camping.
that's true. We'll let her have her fun.
It's entirely, that's our fun little competition that we have there. So go to my channel. No, I think she really won last time. She got a whole lot more. So,
Hmm.
uh, anyway,
Would
okay,
you like
some
to see where people are from?
yeah, absolutely. That'd be great.
Cool. We have New York, Scotland, Florida, England, Pennsylvania, California, Colorado, New Mexico, Wyoming, Arizona, Quebec, Montreal, New Zealand,
Cool.
Tennessee, Arizona, Belgium,
Oh my goodness. Do you see,
Montana.
you guys
Yeah,
see how it forms when you do that? That's why I do that business, because it's all over the place, but it's, if you can imagine the world, the 3D map in your mind, and then seeing all these spots lighting up, I'm sure there's a pattern. I bet you there's a pattern.
oh, for
That's what
sure.
it is.
Everywhere.
Mhm. Absolutely. Fantastic. Well, thank you everyone for being here. This is so, so cool. So mind-blowing every time to see where you're coming from. It's amazing. Um, Something I wanted to ask, we had, Tracy's always, she'll come in with the energy update, things like that, and anything astrology wise. But one thing we just had was the lunar eclipse. Um, I I just, I didn't even notice it till the next day. I was very tired that day, but it didn't click till someone else was talking about how completely, um, what's the word I want to use? It's like they had no energy. They were completely down and out on that day. It's like, oh, eclipses just do this to me all the time. And I was like, oh, there was an eclipse yesterday. And I was tired. I had to take a nap. It wasn't like I was just flat out, but it was just I was tired. And, so these things affect us in different ways. Some people are probably energized with them. Maybe it might be if you're born during one. the person I was talking about, who's, was talking about how they're wiped out, they were born in a full moon. It was a full moon, but it was an eclipse. So that could be something. I'm just interested, if anybody else has any information on that, or maybe how it affected you, if it did. It's always curious. And I'm just bringing it up because you might be thinking, oh my gosh, this has been a low energy week. I had nothing, blah, blah. And it's like, then you realize, oh, something was actually happening and I'm sensitive. See, we're getting more and more sensitive to these energies, to these things that are happening, to astrological events, so it's something you can take in stride. I mean, yeah, okay, it's happening, everything. But if you are feeling off, it very likely is that's affecting you. So it's okay, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's okay.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people saying they've never been this tired before. So it looks like a lot of people that are struggling with that way.
Interesting. So did it last more than, or was it just during that time, or was it over a longer period of time?
We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll see what
Yeah.
people say.
How did you
Yeah,
feel
and
with
just to
it?
clarify, this was a lunar eclipse.
Yes. Yeah, the solar eclipse is coming next in like a week, a little over a week.
Someone was saying they felt a lot of crazy energy this week, and then yeah, just very draining all week, exhausted.
Okay.
Somebody said their Monday was very chaotic.
Yes, Monday was chaotic. Well, that was Monday, was the 25th. That was the day that was happening.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that could be part of that as well. It's just things pulling and, it's just interesting. There's no one textbook thing. So that's why if if I was hearing one message coming through predominantly, that's what I wanted to ask, is like some people get tired. I haven't heard anybody say they were really, I don't know, did you say anybody was energized, or did they?
Someone said Monday was high and then low, full moon and lunar eclipse. I thought there was, yeah, a lot of energy depletion.
Hmm.
Um, somebody said they just felt a lot of crazy energy this week, but
Yeah, I agree with you. Some things started rumbling. It felt like some things started stirring up again, and it was like, oh no, let's just go back to calm, And so I agree that there might have been something happening there, and it could be. I don't know what the planets are doing. I don't keep up with that. I hear that there's going to be a lot of alignment on the 8th when the solar eclipse happens. So it could be that things are lining up. They're starting to get into positions, and we're noticing that. I'm telling you, we are more sensitive now than we ever were before. We're getting more and more sensitive. Now, that's nothing bad about that. It's just a matter of just adapting to it. It's being aware. Oh, I'm sensitive to things. And, one of the first things I learned when I was going down this metaphysical road and I started feeling energy and I started noticing these things, 'cause it was bothering me. I didn't understand what was going on, and I was being hit by energy, and I'm like, oh gosh, and I would call psychics. I'm like, what's going on? I don't understand what's going on with me. And they said, okay, the first thing you need to know is you need to determine, is that your energy or is that somebody else's energy? And I probably talked about that before on here, because to me, this is like a very pivotal lesson to learn. It's like it's an early lesson, and it's something that's really important, because we can go around and be bounced around by everybody else's energy and think that we are really losing it and we're having a horrible time and we're just messed up. But when we understand it's not our energy, it's not us, it's somebody else. We're just sensing it. We're getting it from someone else. We're just sensitive. Then that helps. Once I knew, and what your energy feels like. I think someone asked me this, how do I know if it's mine or somebody else's? Your energy. It's you. Okay. I mean, I don't have to describe that to you. You. It's really, that's all it is. It's you. It would be something, it'd be as if another person walked in the room. You can sense their energy. That's someone else. And that's how you determine, is this my energy or is it someone else's? It may not be someone it's just someone else's. You don't have to determine whose it is. It's just not yours. And that's all I needed to know. That's all they were trying to tell me. If it's not yours, you can let it go. If it's yours, then you want to understand it, you want to work with it. And that's where you need to be analyzing what's going on, things like that. But if it's not yours, it's not yours. It's not yours to be concerned about. Let it go. Just let it go. Let it go back to them. There's no ritual or anything like that you have to do to send it back. You just don't take it in. You decide it's not mine. And then it goes away. It just goes, it leaves you at that point. See, these things are simple. I know there's a lot of people that say, oh, you have to do all these rituals and stuff. If that helps you, fine. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you just let it go. But I'm telling you, it's simple to release things in that way. It's just saying by acknowledging it's not yours. And that's all I do is that's not mine. And it's gone as soon as I say that. Okay. So I don't know who needs that, but that's what I want you to know with all of these things is there are things happening. We're getting more and more sensitive. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just knowing how to work with it and how to adapt to it, because it's a good thing to be sensitive. That's huge in our abilities to know the environment around us, to know the people around us, to know truth when you hear it, to know non-truth when you hear it. There's all these different things that we can be sensitive to. And it's just understanding them. Okay. So there we go. That's what I know about this week. Any other comments on that? I'd love to hear your views on any of this.
Well, it was interesting going on the sensitivity point. Somebody had mentioned if the lunar eclipse is affecting me this much, I can't imagine what the solar eclipse is going to do.
Well, that's just it. We don't know. But see, maybe you're like this person. Maybe you were born in a full moon and an eclipse just really, affects that because that's where your energy comes from, that full moon. Maybe the sun will have no effect whatsoever, so it's like, we don't know until you go through it. I would just assume everything's fine until all of a sudden, like I said, I didn't even realize it till the next day. And that person was saying that. That's when I remembered, oh yeah, I was tired. I actually took a nap. I was that tired. My eyes were just so heavy. So, but I functioned. I went along. It wasn't so bad that I was like, oh my God, there must be something wrong. It was nothing like that. It's just anticipate good. And then you can just see where you are with it. But when does that make sense to just, yeah, I don't anticipate that it's going to be worse because this was a lunar one and you really, got tired or whatever, however it hit you. Don't assume the sun's going to do the same thing.
Have fun and ride the wave. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Woo.
Yeah, just go with the flow.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Go with the flow. Feel your way.
So we do have one question that's popped up.
Okay.
This is from Carol, and she's asking, so I'm assuming you're going to have lots of follow-up questions. So hopefully Carol is listening so that she can be ready.
Mm-hmm.
I've had vertigo, been dizzy and nauseous for over 3 weeks, and no one's been able to fix it so far. Can't think straight, memory's bad, and not sleeping enough / too tired too. Any insights?
Yeah, so 3 weeks now. So the big question is, and you've done a beautiful job of describing it. What changed or what was happening in your life 3 weeks ago? Something was happening, and don't go to, oh, nothing happened that caused dizziness. It's nothing like that. What happened in your life 3 weeks ago? Okay, so that's the question. Just anything. So we'll look at that. And what vertigo a lot of times has to do with energy. I mean, as we're moving and ascending, vertigo is an easy one in that way, but I want to see if it's anything else, with what you say. But don't be surprised as we move and we ascend, that's a very popular ascension symptom. And the reason that's happening is, see, we are growing, we're changing frequencies, and the body, the physical part of us, is trying to catch up. And so sometimes it's a little bit out of alignment at that point when the one part of us is moving and the other part's trying to catch up, and see, it kind of does that business. So that many times is what it is. And that's why they say that's one of the ascension symptoms is a lot of times you'll have dizziness when growth is happening. You're just trying to catch up. But if anything happened, I'd be really interested to hear if anything, what
It she
happened.
was saying she was really upset about a couple of guy friends.
Okay. Okay. Because that's all right. Was it something that you were trying to control?
She was angry.
She was angry. Is it something you were trying to control? The situation. And thank you for, yeah, you were angry. So that was like, you were a lot of emotion there, probably. God, my nose. It just keeps
That just
on.
makes me think of, I know like whenever I'm angry, like when you're so angry and you say like you see red, like you're
Uh-huh.
just so angry. And then that makes me think of, and if she's talking about being dizzy, like you think that goes to your head, like right where,
Right. But it stayed,
right?
it's been prolonged. So see,
Sure.
another thing is dizziness. Um, I remember, like I said, it's an ascension symptom, but also in something that I read when I was working on Soul Speak and everything, and I'd read some other people's, because everybody was giving me other people's work. And I was like, study this, or thing. And I'm like, well, I'm getting my own messages, but I would look at others just to see how it felt. And I remember that one being that it's like a loss of a sense of control. Like you're trying to control something and you can't. And so it's like your whole world is just I can't control. And so it's trying to show you that. So I'm wondering if maybe like the anger that, like, maybe you're trying to control a situation with these people or something. I don't know. We may do that and not realize that we're trying to do that, and then whenever what they're doing is like, slapping us in the face, it's like, I can't control this, and it can be really hard. It's like earth shaking to us. And so
Mhm.
it's like the body's trying to just let go, just let go. So I don't know. That's why I was asking that question. I'm just giving out
Uh,
right now. So,
oh yeah. They said I was upset that they were saying one thing but meaning another, reminded me of childhood abuse by a family member.
oh, okay. 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 Um, why don't you ask the dizzy. So it's still going on from what I'm understanding. You're still feeling dizzy and have been for 3 weeks. So ask the dizziness. Just ask it what it's trying to tell you, what it wants you to know. And just the very first thing that comes into your mind. And we can keep talking about other things while you're working on that. So any other fun or anything?
Um, no other questions so far, or that haven't been flagged. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of chat with everyone's agreeing definitely with what you were saying, with going with the flow, and your last message that you had. Um, sorry, just scrolling through real quick. Yeah, kind of going back and forth on what people saw there. So that's cool.
Okay, very
Um,
cool. For some reason, astrology is coming in my head, and I'm like, okay, well, where are we? Well, we're still in Aries. And Tiffany and I are both Aries. Mom was an Aries, or she still probably is. Um, so I have an affinity for Aries. It's just, I understand them. We're a bunch of Aries here. Any other Aries in the house? I don't know why this is coming in. Like maybe this is something right now, or with this group. I don't know. I don't have any idea where this is going. It was just popped in my head that we're in Aries. Okay.
Someone did mention that there's a new moon and it's Aries coming up.
Are you kidding?
No, someone did mention that earlier.
I give up. I can't. I mean, see, that just is like mind blowing to me. Um, it surprises me just as much, as anybody when somebody else does it too. It's like it just pops in. I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Mhm.
That's
Yes, there are a lot of Aries in the house, so
A lot of fire.
Uh-huh.
Very cool. Cool.
Um, oh, so Carol did follow up with when she asked, it said, I'm not being nice to myself, and that's making me cry. So I guess that's it.
But how is that it's making you cry, but what is the dizziness trying to tell you? I don't that doesn't okay, that explains the cry. Oh, that's making you cry because she said that or what? I'm not or it's making her cry.
It made her cry because what it said, she's not being nice to herself. And so it made her
Okay.
react. And then she started
Okay, can
crying.
you ask why they're using dizziness as a symbology for that? That's my curiosity asking here. I'm always wanting to
Someone
hear more messages.
someone asked when Dolores's birthday was.
April 15th.
Um, we do have some, since we've been talking around the lunar eclipse, there's
Mhm.
obviously been questions about the solar eclipse.
Right.
And so people are kind of just, I guess, asking, have you heard what's going to happen? Or is there anything to be aware of? Or kind of
Yeah.
what's going on April
Yeah, it's
8th?
interesting. I mean, this was asked a week ago, about 2 weeks ago, maybe on another show, and they asked about the solar eclipse, and I was like, I said, what do you know about this? And it just was like so strange because I don't watch news and I don't watch all those things, and so I'm like, so I was able to tap into it with absolutely no outside information, and I was just like, I mean, I tapped into it energetically, and there was absolutely nothing there. It was the most neutral energy I have ever felt, ever. And it was like, that's all I could, it was like this flat line of energy. I don't know if that's significant right there, but to me, it meant definitely, I mean, I have seen some things now, or people have told me some things, and I'm not picking up anything. I think again, it's what are you going to focus on? Where do you put your attention? You know, if you want to, you can create, we're all the creators and we can create any of these scenarios. So if you want to create something disruptive and chaotic, by all means, that's there for you. Or if you want it just to be another day that moves on and it gets dark for a little while, you have that. I also was told, like I said, there's a planet's going to be in alignment. A lot of planets apparently are aligned, and we'll be able to see them when it goes into totality. We're right in the area of totality right here. And I guess there's a two-tailed comet that's coming through, and they have names for all these, and some of them are doing all this doomsday stuff or anything. But how about let's just be excited? That's really cool. All those things will be visible when that goes into this dark point. We can actually see them. That's exciting. It's like, let's take this opportunity. These things don't happen very often. And, people want to talk about all the bad stuff. I mean, it's only if you focus on them. That's your world. And it's not being Pollyanna. It's not, oh gosh, I'm not aware. I have seen this over and over and over again. I have done this over and over and over again. You may have so much calamity going on in the world, but in your bubble, if everything, it's like, that's not in my world. This is what's in my world. I have gumdrops and lollipops. I don't know, whatever. Just, this is my world. It's really interesting how that other just does not come in. You're not seeing it. You're not feeling it. It just doesn't happen in your world. And someone that's really into all this is, mainly to be aware, just like I got to be aware, got to be aware, I want to be prepared for this. And I explained that it won't happen. It just won't come here. And they said, you mean like it might be going on, but it won't affect us? It's like, exactly. That's how it works. That's how I've seen it for myself. It's like, it happens other places. Somehow it just doesn't happen here. It just doesn't affect me. It's really interesting. And it's like, that might sound like magic and woo woo or something. I don't know, but that's called manifesting. And you have in your world what you allow to be in it. We are the creators. If we keep going out and going, okay, this is what's going to happen, then we're creating that. And that's what's like, I wish these people would understand that when they put all this stuff out, well, I just want you to be prepared. I want you to be aware. They're not realizing that they're actually creating the very thing that they're trying to get everybody prepared for and be aware. It's like, oh, but just don't say it. So that's why my choice is to not listen to it. So I just turn it off. That's how I can make my vote. I can't get them to stop saying it. That's their choice. That's their free will to say these things. I just wish they would realize they are creating that world for themselves and for others. And if I have my druthers, I want to create a positive, uplifting world, empowering world, for myself and others. And whoever wants to come join me, some people say, oh, you're sticking your head in the sand. That's how you see it. I'm perfectly happy in my little world. I don't have to have all these influences. I don't have to be aware. And it's really interesting, when you're it's like I'm trying to say, if there might be a war, what did we do back in the day when we didn't have all this instant communication? We didn't have these notifications. There might have been wars going on. There might have been major things. And you in your part of the world, you knew nothing about it because it wasn't around you. You might have heard once in a while a passerby might bring some information, but it wasn't affecting you. See, and it's just because we see it and it's like, oh, must be how it is. It's no different. That's that person, that's someone else's reality. It's their thing. Just because they're creating it and they have it does not mean it has to be yours. It has to be mine. I'm going to choose what I want to be my reality. And whatever is my reality, I'm working with it. If it's stuff that I don't care for, then I'm going to look inside of me and see what it is that I'm thinking, believing, doing, whatever that is creating that. See, it comes back to me. It's not these outside people creating all this stuff. They're not enforcing it on me. I'm the one that's allowing it to come in. So I don't know, somebody's wanting that. I don't know. That was coming in really forcefully. But that's the distinction. And you have that right. Even if you're smack dab in the middle of a city, you have that ability this is my world. And you can roam around and be among other people and still be in your bubble. It totally is possible. And so it's a fun game. I looked at it for a long time as a game. And then now it's just my world. How it is.
You're getting lots of kudos. Very well
Oh,
said.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah, so you have a lot of people resonating with it.
Wonderful.
Back to Carol real quick. When asking the dizziness, it said my life is unbalanced. And she's following up with, I've been focused on making other people happy and not taking care of myself properly and making me happy.
Okay, so see, now that makes sense. Where the first message was you're not loving yourself, and now it's got relevance. I can get it. Yeah, that makes total sense. See, it's out of balance. That's when we're out of balance. What do? We get dizzy. So it's trying to show you're out of balance. So now I want you to ask it, okay, what do you want me to do? Because this is your message. It's your message from your body. So you want to be asking it what it wants you to do. Because it's one thing to get the message, it's the other thing. Then you go on from there. And what do you want it to do? That's the rest of it.
Nice.
Okay.
Would you like to go on to another question?
Yeah, because sometimes the answers can come like that, but she might want to sit with this a little bit.
Sure. So this question is from Peggy. They are asking, did Dolores ever give a time frame for Atlantis?
No, she never gave time frames for I'm gonna say didn't give time frame for anything, but there would have been when you had historical figures. Yeah, so Nostradamus, Jesus, those we had time frames for. Atlantis, no, she might have given a rough one, but it was just way before, so it's like, what do you attach it to? Our earliest time is BC, so it's like something around that. And it's way before that. It's an ancient civilization. So it goes way before that. So she might have said thousands of years or something like that. That might have been as close as she came to a time period. But she was very careful to not do that because she saw how easy it was. We don't understand our time. We don't understand the Earth timeline it's much, much older than we realize. And so, we want to limit it to what we currently have in history books or what we understand. And if you're going to Atlantis, that's before anything that we have in any books, so it's way back there. And it's probably farther back than we even think it is. That just came in. We want to say, oh, it was the one before this. So the feeling I have right now is it might be 2 or 3 before. So there's been many, and even before Atlantis, we've had ancient civilizations. So open your mind and let it kind of let go of the linear construct of time and the need to know age on things, because there's so much here. But no, I don't recall her giving time frames for that, just thousands of years.
Your nose is super itchy.
It is. That's usually when it does like that. That's when
all this. Yeah.
All the when it's doing this, it's usually like, to call it spirit is weird to me. But it's like, that's when, because my ears will itch, my face will itch, but this and the nose will itch, but it's really kicking up today. So that's usually when messages are coming in. So it's like, it's just right here. So I'm guessing that's what it is. It's not, it's just so crazy. But my ears
this next
aren't doing anything this time.
It's just your nose.
My nose. It's all coming through my nose.
This is I think a nice topic. I think you like talking about.
Okay.
So this is from Angie, and they're asking, can you talk about manifesting?
Oh, I love manifesting. Yeah. What would you like to know about manifesting? Is there anything specific or just in general?
I'm gonna say general, but
okay.
Yeah.
From a general place, this is actually it's for anything and that you want to manifest. It's what you want to do. I mean, like they'll say, imagine or see it already accomplished, whatever it is you want to accomplish, see it already done. And that's absolutely correct, but it's more than that. Because you'll say, I do this and nothing's happening. I want this and it doesn't happen. It's because it's just a little change on that. What you want to do is, and I want you to use your imagination. Your imagination is the key factor here, is imagine what it would be like. Imagine a scene of yourself doing something after you have accomplished whatever it is you want to manifest, after you have it, whatever. And imagine what that would feel like. I want you to feel it and all of its thing. It might be a celebration. It might be a new car. It might be, I don't know what it is you want, but it's just something that represents whatever it is that you're wanting. And imagine yourself with it, in it, anything, with all the senses expanded. You're hearing and you're feeling, you can touch whatever and stuff, totally feel it, get that excitement and be so thankful. What helps me get into that place is to say things like, oh, wouldn't it be wonderful if, and wouldn't it be fantastic if, see, that gets you in that heightened excitement phase and emotion. And that's what carries this. And that's what brings in that picture, because then you can feel it and you're so excited about it. And it's like, oh, this is so cool. And you're imagining it. And then you're seeing all this and it's in the imagination. Fully accept that you're imagining it, but you're feeling it with all emotions. Okay. All of that. And so you're totally getting in that picture. And then you come back to now, because that's like at some point, we don't know the point in the future. We just know at some point, not now, at some point else. Okay. But it's the point that you have, whatever it is, you've accomplished it. And then you come back to now, but you carry that excitement with you. The excitement of knowing that you have it. It's already done. So you have that now. And it's something shifts in you in the now picture when you have that excitement and the knowing that it is done. Because you could feel it. See, that's that feeling part that you bring back. You know, you already have it. It is done. And then what's happening now, you don't worry about how it happens. You just know that you saw it, you felt it, all that, and you just keep that excitement. Okay. Then on the other side, what's happening, because you have put that in place and that feeling, and you have that structure, all of that is here now. Now the universe puts everything in place to bring you that construct of that feeling. Okay. It's what brings that feeling. So it may not look exactly like what you envisioned, but it's the feeling that you're attracting. Okay. And you might go, but yeah, but that's really hard to keep that going. And that's why that's fine. You can go back to that vision, that imagination, that perceived, that imagined scenario anytime you want, as many times a day as you want. Great times is in the morning and in the evening. And then if you want to do it several times in the day, that's fine. Like you might think about it and wonder. It's like, oh, okay, I'll go visit it. I'll just go feel it again, bring that feeling back. Anytime you feel like it's like, oh my, I just don't know what's going to happen, go back and feel it again. Bring that feeling back. That's where you're attracting from, is that feeling. And then the other thing that helps me is I know, because I have been there, I have seen it, I have felt it, I have all that stuff is there. It is so real. Now it must be. When I bring that back here, it's something, that's what I mean, that something shifts and I know it must be. It has to happen because I have been there. And that's where you just keep doing this so you don't bring in the doubt thoughts. So that's why you just go back and visit it as much as you want. That's perfectly fine. It will happen. It has to happen because you have put it into place. You have put it into motion. That's how you do it. It's that feeling. And then bringing that back and the knowing. So that's, like I say, don't doubt it, don't all that. Well, sometimes when you say don't do something, that's when we do it, right? So that's where I'm saying bring that, keep that excitement about it. And anytime that I start kind of feeling some of the energy wane, I just do, wouldn't it be fun? I just have a tagline with it. Wouldn't it be wonderful? Wouldn't it be anything? And that gets that excitement level back up and that knowing. And that's knowing is what's attracting. Okay. I hope that helps.
I think it did. I mean, it helped lots of people. They're making comments that they
Oh,
agree
cool.
with it. And yeah,
Okay.
and that it was interesting right before you got into um essentially believing. Someone said you have to believe it too. And then for some reason it made me think of Peter Pan, where you had to believe so that you could fly with the pixie dust. You couldn't do it unless you
Absolutely. Think
believed.
happy thoughts. And
Yep.
you believe. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you don't believe it, see, that's the doubts. Nah, it'll never happen. Then how's it gonna happen? That's the energy you're putting out there. You have to believe. But see, when you've been there and you felt it, you touched it, you felt it, all these things, then you can believe. And that's why you keep going back and visiting as often as you need to keep the belief going. But that's where that knowing, that's when you get to a knowing, oh, it's of course it's happening. It's not even it's going to happen, it's happening, because it's all in process.
And you may have said this, and I'm sorry if I missed it, but I think something that always comes up previously in the past has also been like, well, how can I know what it feels like if I've never experienced it?
That's where the imagination. Use your imagination, pretend, hey, you were a child once, be a child again. Pretend, use your imagination, whatever. If you need to go look at movies, if you need to go look at magazines, if you need to, read book, whatever it is, to pretend to get that feeling of what it might be like. At first, it might be just a what might it be like. That's why I'm saying I use that line of wouldn't it be wonderful? Because that kind of starts pushing me into this other vibration rather than me having to know exactly what it would be. It's like just imagine something like if you're wanting a promotion, maybe you don't know what that looks like or what that job might look like, or a new job, you don't know what that looks like necessarily, but maybe you're celebrating because you got it. See, so there's the celebration. So that you can imagine probably. And everybody's patting you on the back and everybody's excited and oh, this is wonderful, or whatever you're doing. That you can imagine. It may not be, see, then you're drawing that in for whatever creates that celebration. See, does that make sense? So it might be something that you've never had, and if it's a physical thing, maybe you need to go visit it, see what it would be like, to help you use your imagination. But your imagination is fine. It can create all kinds of things out of nothing. What would it, just anything, you may be going for a feeling. That's okay. Oh, maybe it's, I don't know, give me an idea of something that you've never had and you wonder how to create it. Because I'm actually stumping myself here.
I'm thinking on like let's say I mean I think you kind of hit on this already, but I've never been to Scotland. I want to go to Scotland. I need to figure out how I can get to Scotland
Okay.
X.
Okay. What do you know about Scotland?
Um, I've seen it in movies and pictures,
Okay. And what do you know of it?
assuming that it was actually Scotland.
Right. Good point. Good
Yeah.
point. What do you recall of it? Because what did you
It's
see or
just
what is it you imagine?
it was very green and hilly.
And hilly. Okay. Castles.
Sure. Yep, we can throw castles in there.
Okay. I'm just trying, like, what is it about it that makes you want to go there? See, there's something, and it could be just the movies. Okay. And then what do you remember? Hills and green. Okay.
Hmm.
Then maybe you start there. You know, I'm in a hilly green area full of green, and maybe there's some castles around, whatever makes you think of it, that it can form it, and then you're very excited about being there. Maybe you're on whatever would show that as, you're there, you've accomplished it. Maybe you're in a pub, maybe you're in a, out in the green field, barefoot on the grass. I don't know, whatever would really solidify it that I am here, I'm actually here. Look at, yeah, I did it. And so
Hmm.
and you go in with that, oh my gosh, this is so wonderful, I made it, yay, whatever your celebration is, just whatever represents that to you. But start it with, wouldn't it be wonderful? What would your statement be then, Tiffany? Wouldn't it be wonderful if?
Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful if I got to see the green, lush areas of Scotland?
Okay, there you
I
go.
hope it's actually green. I'm just kidding.
I mean, it could be just, wouldn't it be wonderful if I get to go to Scotland? I mean, you can leave it that way. You just know it's green and lush and hilly, however you want it to be. But it's like, but you start it with whatever it is you want to accomplish. And then you use your imagination to imagine the scene that would show that has been happening, that happened for you, that is happening.
Hmm.
Okay? I mean, it's whatever. There's no right answer. It's just, that's what I'm saying. That's what I use that to get me kind of the ball rolling. It's it's because it's positive. We create from positive energy. I mean, we can create from the other, but the things we create from that other, the negative energy or not so positive, isn't so fun. So I'm assuming we want to create fun things and things that we enjoy.
Hmm.
So that's where, yeah, whatever. But yeah, just to say, isn't it wonderful that I'm in Scotland is a big, broad thing. So that's where your specific things, the green or castles or whatever represents Scotland to you is helpful because the mind creates, we use pictures and we draw in with pictures and emotions. Okay. So when
That's
you
great.
go to Scotland,
Mm, my year's pretty busy, so we'll see.
but that's where, just expect it to happen because
Yeah.
if you can imagine it, you can visualize it, you can be in it, it will happen. It is happening. It's being brought to you. So it must be.
Would you would you say that you should add a lot of detail?
You add as much as you can. Yes. That's why I'm saying you feel it, you sense it, all these different things. So like in there, if you're green fields, you might even feel the grass. What does the grass feel like?
Hmm. There's so many different types of grass, but I would say it feels like a cloud.
Feels like a cloud. Oh, interesting. Okay. So, see, you're sensing it, you're feeling it, and it's however you want it. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just whatever you sense it to be. But the thing is that you're feeling it. And you might even have smells in it, but definitely touch it, and how does it feel? Because that makes it real. If we can touch it, it's physical, right? We can touch things in our imagination, but that's what's bringing it in. It makes it real. So you put as much detail in that way, you feel it, you have your emotions going, how do you feel in this situation?
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
All of that. Yeah, as much as you can.
Very good. Thank
But it's
you.
not just head doing it. It's all of you. It's creating it. You're in that. So what are you feeling? What are you sensing? All that's why I keep going back to that. I don't want you to just be, oh, well, I see this. It's not that. That starts it. Then you got to be in it. You are in that picture. You are in that scene. And do you see how when you do that, it has to be because you've created it just because you are in it. So
Mm-hmm.
now you keep going back to that, you will pull it to you. The universe just does it. Don't worry about the how. Like I said before, don't worry about the how and everything. That's up to the universe, and you let it be the universe. Your job is seeing it and being in it and feeling it and being excited about it, and then bringing that back to your present.
Nice. You have several people commenting there, wouldn't it be wonderful? So that's awesome. They're coming up with
Wonderful.
their own.
Yay. Yeah.
Um, so someone earlier had mentioned kind of does your body tell you messages and how do you hear about them? How can you figure it out? And I thought, you'd probably be like the best person to ask
Oh
this.
my goodness, maybe. I wrote a book on it. So, but absolutely. And that's what we were working with Carol earlier. Your body absolutely is a messenger. It's telling you things. It's like, because when we don't listen, I mean, we constantly have messages coming to us from our guides, guardian angels, our higher selves, whatever it's like, to help us stay on track in our life. And they're delivered in many, many different ways. Like we see signs, we get messages from other people. There's just so many different ways that we get them. But if we don't believe, because we can actually hear our guides, but if we don't believe that we can, then we won't hear them. So if we don't receive, if we just don't acknowledge, don't understand any of this messaging that happens around us, then our body will be used, because our body is a wonderful messenger. And so then messages will be delivered through that. So absolutely, our bodies are delivering messages. They're talking to us. It's just a matter of understanding what they're saying. And that's where it goes down to, there's a guideline. And that's what I write in my book and the online course that expands on the book. But there's a guideline. So it helps you kind of get a good idea. But it all comes down to, in the end, it's you and what those messages, what your body's trying to tell you. So it might be along a line, but then it could be something just a little different. Like Carol's was, it's like, she was out of balance. And that's what we're saying, when it's out of balance, it's showing you're not in alignment. And it's like, woo, everything's kind of wonky. That's what was showing dizziness. That was her message for dizziness. So it's ultimately, what is it for you? And that's why I teach you how to listen. It's really very simple. We just did it. You just you ask whatever it is that's going on, or you can ask your guides, guardian angels, God, higher self, whatever works for you. You can talk to the body part, you can talk to them and just ask, what are you trying to tell me? And then you'll get an answer. Again, I mean, it comes right in. It's a matter of acknowledging it. It's a matter of allowing it to come in. If we say, nope, 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 hear nothing, then you're closing the door on it. But just be open and allow. It'll be the very first thing that comes in. And if you don't get anything there, just allow. It might come in a dream. It might come in with somebody. Again, one of these other methods that we receive information. Just be aware that it will come, and just be aware for it. Okay. So is there anything specific that you would like to know, or you'd like to work through here?
We will wait and see if they
Okay.
have anything.
Okay.
I think we're getting semi close to time.
Oh, we are very close to time. Yeah. Maybe one.
Okay. Yeah, so this could be a fun one.
Okay.
Devin is asking, what is your most favorite book of Dolores's?
My most favorite book. Wow, that's tough because they go off in different directions. You know what I think it is They Walked with Jesus. Well, I have two. They Walked with Jesus and Five Lives Remembered. Five Lives is because that's my father's book. And that's, that's where he was doing the hypnosis, and he was doing, so that's his book. And it's such a gorgeous story. And it's the beginning of everything. And then between, we walked with Jesus. I mean, all the books are wonderful, but I love that one because it's so gentle, and it's where the people and when the lives that they were going back to, they were in the healing fields, in the mission fields with Jesus, and they were going on, and he was showing how he healed, and it was energy, lights coming out of the hands, and different things he was doing. So it's like it so resonates, and it's really really cool as far as just how he did it. And what I love about it, it really makes him a person. It's not a god, it's a person, and it's showing us how we can all do these things. And so I just love the beauty, how beautiful the stories were. So that's there. And I think I just saw him say like 2 or 3 minutes. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up. But thank you all so much. This has been wonderful. I just want to remind you, if you want to be in Sedona, Tiffany and I are going to be there. Tracy's going to be there. We have the retreat coming up May 23rd to 27th. Lots and lots of fun things that we'll be doing. You do not have to be a QHHT practitioner to be there. It's just like-minded people. If you're a Dolores lover, hey, you're one of us. So it's anybody that's into all of these things. That's what it's all about. And it's going to be fantastic. If you've never been to Sedona, it's a wonderful, wonderful place. Energy vortexes, it's really cool, spiritual. It's very ancient and wonderful for energy. The energy out of that place is amazing. It's like I said, it's all this vortex energy, but it's just really cool spiritual energy. It's a very sacred place to the American Indians. So that will give you an idea of they've always used it as a very sacred place. So we have that going on. If you are ever interested in being a QHHT practitioner to help people to unfold some of these mysteries of themselves and find out who they really are, go to qhhtofficial.com for both to become a practitioner. You can purchase the course. It's an online level 1 course, and to get the retreat that we'll be having. So all of that's available there. If you want to understand more about your body and what it's trying to say, go to juliacannon.com or go to amazon.com to get the book, Soul Speak, the Language of Your Body. I'll give you the publisher. It's also ozarkmt.com, but it's whatever you remember, whatever works with, finding it. So anyway, I love you all. Tiffany, thank you so much. We did it. Yay. Very much miss Tiffany. I got Miss Tiffany. I miss Tracy being here. So now Tracy, she will be here next week. So we will get to see her before she goes on her Egypt trip. So this is the time where we're kind of starting to go off in different directions and some trips. So but thank you all so much for being here. I love you. I love your energy. This has been amazing, and I'll see you next week. Bye.